Volodymyr Omelyan is Ukraine's former Minister of Infrastructure. He's in Kyiv. Hi, Mr. Omelyan. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for making the time.
It's my great pleasure, and thank you for inviting to your show.
The World Bank recently released a figure, $60 billion in damaged infrastructure in Ukraine through this war. Can you help our audience understand what that actually looks like or feels like on the ground?
On the ground, it's a bit different because we have more than 30% of our infrastructure damaged, heavily damaged, or totally destroyed by Russians. And this number is going only to grow because even today, one of the largest bridges in the south of Ukraine was destroyed by Russians as well. And we do understand, and World Bank as well, that this number will be much, much bigger. I hope that when victory comes, and there is no doubt that Ukrainians, together with West, will win this war in Europe against Russia. So after Victory Day, first thing what we should do after repairing what is badly needed to be repaired, we should make an audit and then to start to rebuild Ukraine, or as I allowed to say, that we should build Ukraine from ground zero.
And you know, I think a lot of our audience will, including myself, will have seen many of the images through television or on social media. You're living there. What is it? I mean, what does it look like when you go outside your door? Are you confronted with that kind of destruction all the time?
It depends on the region. For example, Lviv and Western Ukraine was only hit by Russian missiles, so 90% is in good shape. If we talk about Kyiv, it's more or less okay, capital of Ukraine, I mean, but if you travel to the northern Kyiv region, it's disaster. It's like not Europe in 21st century, but somehow between Asia and Europe in the medieval ages. It's fully destroyed. It's the same thing when you travel to the eastern Ukraine or to the southern. Everything which was in touch with Russia is heavily damaged. Housing are bombed heavily also by Russian troops, and they precisely destroy all infrastructure, starting from the multi-story building and ending with heating plants, factories, roads, rails, airports, and so on.
And when you reference rebuilding and the potential for rebuilding, of course, down the road, I wanted to get your thoughts on something that Canada has actually just recently decided to do, and that is not only seize the assets, not only sanction sort of the assets of people they are sanctioning, but seize them and then be able to redistribute them to victims of the war, and potentially maybe something like these efforts. Do you think that kind of thing could happen? Do you think that other countries should also be doing that, where they are able to seize the assets of those who are being sanctioned and maybe put those assets towards what a rebuild may look like down the road?
I would be very happy if Canada do it, because it's very important to show the path to all other countries. We know that there are a lot of Russian assets frozen by the West, and this is between $500 billion and $1 trillion. And definitely Russia should pay for every damage they did to Ukraine and to the world. Because it's not only about Ukraine's destructions. Right now, Canadian, US, European taxpayers should pay much more. You spend a lot of money to help Ukraine in military and financial reason. Everything should be paid by Russians because they do support Putin to destroy the world. And they should understand that the price for such controversial approach to the modern age is very high. Russia already got the point, but it's also very important that we make it real by seizing and redirecting their assets into fund of rebuilding Ukraine and fund to reimburse for the West their investments already into this war.
And when you talk about, at this point, 30% of infrastructure being destroyed and that number will just continue to grow, when you think of the rebuild, what might the requirement be there? I know that the World Bank also expects Ukraine's economy to contract by 45%. I mean, it's a staggering number in 2022. What do you think that will involve?
First of all, it comes with vision. If you know what you're going to build instead, because I don't want to have Soviet factories or Soviet style of living to be rebuilt or repaired in Ukraine. It should be brand new Ukraine of the 21st century. Then if you have a vision, you should come up with team. And this is what we are also desperately looking for your support. And we do hope to get best Canadian engineers, architects, city planning companies, just to make it right, and do not be in the situation that we should revise our strategy in 1 or 2 years. It should be done once, but for ages.
Is it difficult to think about that and to plan for that when the destruction is still going on?
It's very difficult from the moral point of view, and definitely if you shoot with machine gun, you can't concentrate on some action plan to elaborate. But still, it's badly needed right now to think over and to make final decision for the government, for the nation, and for the international community, for our allies, to give them clear picture. Because if Ukraine is strong and economy is developing, it's the best, I would say, kind of secure and safety approach to preserve peace in Eastern Europe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omelyan. Pleasure to have you on our program.
It's my pleasure.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.